So much negative things, so much inaccurate things have been said about Casey Anthony that I think no one has the first clue of who she really is.
Attorney Jose Baez suggesting we don't really know who Casey Anthony is. Guess we're going to have to wait until the trial to find out. I'm back with my expert panel, and we're taking your calls. So many calls coming in. Chenna, Connecticut, your question or thought, ma'am.
Hi, Jane.
Hey.
Really quickly, whether some of this evidence comes in or not, I don't think the prosecution needs it. If I was a juror, once I digest the original facts of the case, that those 31 days went by and it was Cindy who ultimately called the police, it's a done deal for me. She's done. Guilty.
Oh, you are so brilliant in that statement because, Darren Kavanaugh, how does the defense use your imagination, stretch it from here to Missouri, come up with an explanation for why a mother would wait 30 days to report her own child missing?
Well, I've actually spoken to Jose Baez about this, and he tells me that there is a good explanation for this, and it will be coming out when the case ultimately goes to court. So we'll all have to wait and stay tuned to hear that directly when the trial happens. But this is one of the great challenges in this case. There's all this evidence that's out there, and it all points to Casey Anthony being a lousy human being on many, many levels. She's lied, she's stolen from her grandparents, she's done drugs, she's generally engaged in conduct unbecoming to a mother. And somebody on the defense team has to be able to carry the flag of authenticity. They've got to be able to get out there and say to those jurors, look, we know she's not a great person for all these reasons that you're going to hear, but that's not what she's charged with. You've got to strictly follow the evidence, and that's where the prosecution can't meet its burden. And until somebody can have that authenticity and really carry the day in front of the jury, that's going to be the problem.
Yeah, but Stacey Honowitz, I love this idea that Jose Baez is keeping the secret of why she didn't call cops for 30 days, and that dovetails with the fact that he subpoenaed some records critical to the defense strategy, but he lost his bid to keep them secret. So now has he actually focused attention on the very facts of the case that he was trying to keep under wraps?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody said at the very beginning, why are you even honing in on one theory of the defense? Why are you married to this theory with the nanny and everything like that? And he really kind of shot himself in the leg, I hate to say, because he has only stuck to this. And right now, he's keeping it a secret, and maybe it's because he doesn't know the answer to that secret. He's going to have to wait and see in court.
Here's my theory.
What is he going to say? Why she didn't report it? She didn't even report it.
I'm going to take a wild bet that he's going to say something like, the reason she didn't report it is that Zanny the nanny had connections to the cops, and that she was afraid that if she contacted the police, then Zanny the nanny would find out and something would happen to her daughter. Quickly, Bob Castelli.
I'm going to buy into that one.
You know what? Anything is possible with this one. I mean, you know, as I said, there is so much theatrics here. And, you know, back to what Stacey said before, the fact is, this may not be theatrics in a courtroom yet, but this is a pretty savvy defense attorney, and he can bring this theatrics into the courtroom. And I think if he does so, he's going to create a reasonable doubt there.
But see, the one thing, Jane, you have to remember is, you have to create a reasonable doubt as to the elements of the crime. You can walk in there with a ton of stuff and say, well, maybe, well, possibly. You can't speculate. That's the bottom line.
All right.
You have to prove your case beyond a reasonable doubt based on the facts of this case, and it's the elements of the crime that matters, not these other little issues that are going on the side.
And speaking of issues, rumors have swirled over the identity of the father of little Kaylee Anthony and over whether Casey even wanted to have a child. Let's listen to what former friend, emphasis on former, Kia Marie Cruz told the National Enquirer back in December.
We were sitting there and she was saying, hey, I was with a guy, and she said that the condom broke and that she didn't think anything of it, and unfortunately she did get pregnant from it. So she was panicky, and she kept saying that she was going to tell her mom, and then she kept backing out.
So Kia Marie is saying the condom broke and Casey got pregnant, afraid to tell her mom. And Nancy Grace producer Natisha Lance has suggested that Casey was even considering an abortion. And eventually we know she wanted to give her child up for adoption. All of this strikes me, Debbie Maggots, as a prosecution argument that she didn't want this child.
I was going to say, I think this friend actually works towards being emotionally towards Casey. What young teenager or young person who gets pregnant doesn't think about maybe they don't want the baby, maybe to give it up for abortion? It's a pretty scary thing to happen. This isn't an unusual thing, and I think the defense can use this to their liking.
All right, Judy, quick question or thought from Florida.
Hi. My question is this. I've been wondering why Morgan has the ability to ask questions that are so far-ranging away from the Zenaida Gonzalez actual reason he's having the deposition.
Got it. Stacey, take a crack. 10 seconds.
Well, depositions are very different from court. In depositions, you really are allowed wide latitude to, it's an expedition. You want to find out every piece of information that this person might know. Doesn't mean that that's coming into court.
Got to leave it there. Thank you to my excellent panel. Come back soon. Too fast.